Ok, good. Bon. Voilà, bonne soirée. Je veux dire bonsoir, je veux dire, parce que quand même. Et ce qu'on va faire ce soir, c'est 11 B 1 et 2 comme leçon. Ce sont des choses plus ou moins de base, pas trop de surprises. Et voilà. Some new endings and things to learn. And conditional. And conditional works just about exactly like it does in English. So once your head kind of gets around the new forms, it's something that tends to be rather intuitive for us English speakers to be able to use. And I know we have some people that have other native languages. If you already speak a Romance language, then you're not going to have any trouble with conditional. Depending on what other languages you might speak, I cannot attest to. Oh, I cannot attest to how hard it's going to be to learn conditional. But in general, it's not that hard. Alors, on va commencer à la page 468. Et en fait, je pense pas qu'on ait besoin de faire le PowerPoint en fait pour ouvrir et offrir, hein, je pense. Ce qu'on va faire simplement, c'est de regarder dans le livre ensemble. Et vous avez, bien sûr, vous avez ces deux verbes. Et c'est quasiment la même chose pour les, ou bien c'est la même chose pour les terminaisons, n'est-ce pas, les nouvelles formes. Et puis, ils vont vous donner d'autres verbes qui vont se former comme ouvrir et offrir. D'accord? Vous avez couvrir, découvrir, qui vont marcher comme ouvrir, bien sûr. Souffrir, qui va marcher comme offrir. D'accord? Ce qui veut dire que ils ont tous les mêmes terminaisons, mais ça va être un peu plus simple, je pense, de mettre ensemble avec ceux qui sont plus vraisemblables, qui sont plus similaires, n'est-ce pas? Alors, voilà. Voilà. Ouvrir doesn't mean anything different than it does in English. Offrir basically means the same thing as it does in English, except that about 99.99999% of the time when people talk about giving someone a gift, they don't use donner, they say offrir. Je t'offre quelque chose, ou on a offert je sais pas quoi comme cadeau, etc. And just when it's specifically a gift, you almost never use donner. Use offrir instead. Otherwise, offrir means the same thing as it does in English. And you can be offered things that aren't gifts, but a lot of if somebody has something in their hand and they're handing it to you, then they mean it's a gift. D'accord? Alors, ça dépend du contexte, bien sûr. Ouvrir, like I said, doesn't have any different meanings or anything. Same thing with couvrir, découvrir. Those are used exactly the same as their American, as the same as their English counterparts. And souffrir is used just about the same as its English counterpart. So don't worry about how to use any of those. Just use them in place of those English ideas and pay attention to your endings. Every time you learn a new verb now, they're going to show you passé composé, bien sûr. They'll show you if they can be used a different way. So for example, couvrir can be used, well these three in fact can be used reflexively. So there's a couple examples of that. And voilà. So, and they all do the same thing for the past participle too, which is kind of wacky. Ends with ERT. Découvert, souffert, ouvert, offert, etc. D'accord? And they're also confirming for you that they are regular. Oh, sorry, that they're regular in imparfait. which means I'm dropping my ending and just adding, that is, I'm dropping my IR and then adding my imparfait endings just like usual. Nothing special except that they will look a little wacky to you at first. So don't let them throw you. They're just new, but they're relatively trouble-free. D'accord. Alors, ce qu'on va faire, c'est de... Je pense pas qu'on ait besoin de faire ça non plus. On va regarder les autres exercices. On va faire quelques-uns dans l'exercice 1 et puis quelques-uns dans le deuxième, je pense. Pour voir. Et puis ça nous donne un peu de révision pour l'accord dans le passé composé, n'est-ce pas? Alors, mais non! Alexandra et sa copine Jamila viennent d'arriver en cours et parlent de leurs camarades. Que se disent-elles? Juliane, alors chaque fois, ils vont dire quelque chose et vous allez dire, ben, moi aussi, là. Ou bien, ça dépend des indices, d'accord? Ils vont vous dire quoi mettre ou qui mettre dans votre phrase, ok? Alors, par exemple, Juliane souffre d'un mal de tête. Vous allez changer ça en je. Moi aussi, je souffre d'un mal de tête. Ou je souffre aussi d'un mal de tête, ou quoi que ce soit. You don't necessarily have to have aussi in exactly the same spot. You could say moi aussi, or you know, if you come up with a slightly different order and you're not sure whether you can use that or not, then yell. But you guys are at a point now where you probably have used OC plenty, and you probably know a couple of good places to put it in the sentence and other things to add. So kind of like I did with moi aussi, je souffre d'un mal de tête. Voilà. Numéro 1. Sylvain ouvre son livre. Vous allez changer ça en Caroline. So if you need to, pause the video so that you don't see the answer too fast. And quiz yourself or whatever. Caroline ouvre. Oh, aussi son livre. So in 102 right now we're doing adverbs. So part of the reason that you're tempted, or that very often we put OC here, is because OC is an adverb here, right? So it's going right after the conjugated verb, but I don't have to put it there. I could say Caroline aussi, elle ouvre son livre, par exemple. Ou elle aussi, Caroline ouvre son livre, ou je sais pas quoi. Ça dépend de la situation, ça dépend de ce que vous voulez souligner, what you would like to highlight or what you want to emphasize as you speak. So, you know, you guys are getting into an area where you can really do lots of different things with the language, and we aren't necessarily going to be able to tell you that something is right or wrong. It just depends on what you want to say, right? So that's kind of the nitty-gritty of the language learning, because you might say something that isn't really wrong, but is going to just make somebody misunderstand you just a little, or get slightly wrong nuance from what you said. So that's all really cool. Well, I think it's cool because languages are so cool. But anyway, Antoine souffre d'allergie. Alors, le professeur et moi. Alors, moi, je vais mettre le professeur et moi, nous aussi. Oh. Pourquoi j'arrête pas de mettre un M en nous aussi? D'accord? Loïc découvre la réponse. Nous. Oh. D'accord? Tu offres ta place à Maëva. Alors, Théo. Qu'est-ce que vous allez mettre? So look at everything in the sentence. Everything has to, you have to double check everything to see what needs to be changed now that we're talking about Théo instead of tu. D'accord? So anything that originally was reflecting back onto tu now has to reflect on Théo. So we have the il version of offre, right? And what else in here do we need to change? Le possessif, n'est-ce pas? Alors ça, place. Ah. Maëva. D'accord? Je souffre beaucoup avant les examens. Nous aussi. Alors, it's funny because as we're doing these new ones, my tendency is to put on. You may not have learned this about on yet, although I'm sure you've seen it in passing. On can mean lots of different things, and one of these days, if we have time, I have a really fun worksheet about on, because on can replace all kinds of different people in all kinds of different situations. It can mean almost every single person. That is, it can mean je, it can mean tu, it can mean il, elle, nous, vous, etc. It can mean people in general. It can mean one, as in, one doesn't spit in class. It can mean that that they that we're always talking about. Oh, I went to the library and they made me pay $5 for my book that was late, and whatever. So you can use it for so many different things. One of the main things we use it for is for nous. So a lot of the time when people are talking to their friends, it's used in, I should say, more familiar situations, not formally for, oh, would you use it if you're talking to someone in a formal situation. But in a more casual situation, you can use on, and people use it constantly instead of nous. So here, and also the ones above when we had nous, I wanted to put on, and I had to stop myself. So another version of this would have been, if we wanted to really be French, then we would do this instead. Attends. Attendez, je veux dire. À chaque fois, je dis attends, tandis que, voilà. Alors, nous aussi. Oh, c'est super grand, hein. Je vais pousser ça. Voilà. Nous aussi. Oh, aussi. On offre, ou on, je sais pas quoi, on souffre. Oh. Beaucoup avant les examens. D'accord? Okay. Probably one of the examples that comes to my head the most readily when we're talking about oh in this way is when you're talking to your friends and like, oh, qu'est-ce qu'on fait ce soir? Alors tu arrives, t'as 3 ou 4 potes qui sont là en train de bavarder et vous dites, ben, qu'est-ce qu'on fait ce soir? Okay. On here is us. What are we doing tonight? What's everybody doing tonight? Right? That can mean either of those, but it normally means that you're included in the group in this example. Okay. Likewise, I might say, ben, qu'est-ce que vous avez fait hier soir, toi et Pierre? Ben, on est allé manger, on a vu un beau film après, et puis on s'est baladé dans le parc ou je sais pas quoi. Et dire on à chaque fois, c'est tout à fait normal. D'accord? Voilà. So you're going to hear on that way a lot as you go on with French, those of you who especially those of you who major and minor. And if we don't have time to do that worksheet, which I always think we're going to have time for that kind of stuff, and we often do not, but if anybody's interested in it, I could send it to you, so email me, and I could send you that thing. It's pretty cool to see all the different things that on can do. It's really cool. Alors, little digression. That's the first digression of the evening. Vous ouvrez votre sac à dos. Luc et Anne. Eux aussi. So these disjunctives, these emphatic pronouns, should look familiar to you. Alors, eux aussi, ils ouvrent. Possessive. How many sac à dos are they going to have? Are they going to have one that they're sharing, or are they going to have one each? Probablement, ils vont en avoir deux, n'est-ce pas? Ils vont en avoir chacun. Ils vont en avoir un chacun. Alors, ce qui marche pas en fait grammatiquement, mais voilà. Leur sac à dos D'accord? Vous comprenez? Vous comprenez tout ça? So I have the plural here, right? Because how many backpacks are they going to have? Are they going to share a backpack? Or they probably have one each, right? Probably they have one each. So now I'm going to say their backpacks, which means I need to make this plural. I need to make my possessive plural also, right? Voilà. Odile et Fatou couvrent leurs devoirs, lisent aussi, elle couvre. Now this one's kind of the opposite, except that, what happens with devoir? Qu'est-ce que ça veut dire devoir? So we're in a classroom situation, an academic situation. Devoir, ça veut dire homework, right? Is it ever singular in this context? No. Okay, so it's going to stay plural, even though lise is singular. So we are going to change. Well, I apparently really didn't want to forget this stuff. I don't normally set everything as reminders. It's a new little thing I'm trying this month. Alors, Lise aussi, elle couvre. Qu'est-ce que. Oui, Lise aussi, elle couvre. So she's singular, but the homework is plural, right? So what are my choices for possessive with elle, singulier? Son, ça, c'est, n'est-ce pas? And which one am I going to use with devoir, c'est? Oh, d'accord. Angèle découvre qu'elle adore les maths. Moi aussi, je découvre que how many wanted to say Angèle, moi aussi je découvre qu'elle adore les maths. So she's discovering that she likes math. Who am I discovering likes math? Me, right? Que je que j'adore les maths. C'est super les maths. Voilà. D'accord? C'est assez grand. Oh, I didn't make it as big as normal. I hope you guys could see it okay in the video. Voilà. Alors, on reprend un tout petit peu. Quelle heure il est? Oh, c'est bien. Pour le deuxième, c'est bien. On va pratiquer le passé composé et vous allez choisir. Ils vont vous faire accord avec les participes passés. Ok? Et avant d'oublier, je vais faire que ça soit plus grand pour vous, pour que vous puissiez voir mieux. Voilà. C'est bon mon subjonctif, n'est-ce pas? Ça doit l'être. Je fais des fautes des fois hein, en subjonctif, hein, faut le dire. Ok. Je l'ai déjà fait. Je vais faire que ça soit plus grand aussi, c'est plus large, je veux dire. Maya parle avec sa sœur des choses qu'elle veut faire pour organiser une fête dans leur nouvelle maison. Sophie lui dit qu'elle les a déjà faites. Vous comprenez? Elles sont en train d'organiser une fête, oui. Maya is listing all the stuff that they need to do, and Sophie is like, I did it already, I did it already, I did it already, I did that too, etc. Alors, vous avez l'exemple. Je veux ouvrir les bouteilles. D'accord? C'est Maya qui parle, et puis il y a Sophie qui répond. Ben, moi, je les ai déjà ouvertes. D'accord? So, we're using our direct object pronouns. Woohoo! We are using passé composé. We are using passé composé agreement because my direct object pronoun is in front of my past participle. D'accord? Or is in front of my verb, basically. Is in front of the whole passé composé. D'accord? What else are we doing? We're putting déjà in here. And déjà is an adverb. And déjà is going right after the conjugated verb, not after the verb phrase. D'accord? So this is a pretty cool exercise. It's making you do a couple or three, many things, but really only a couple or three things at once. So those of you who are just kind of like, oh my gosh, what did what just happened with that example. Do it in steps, d'accord? One step at a time, and we'll do a couple like that, at least. Alors, je veux couvrir les meubles pour les protéger. Et puis il y a Sophie qui dit, ben, that makes it more French too, ben, ben, moi, je, quoi? So what are we doing? Look at your direct object. So up here we had our direct object les bouteilles, d'accord? We take les as our direct object pronoun. Down here we have les meubles. So what direct object pronoun do I need? Les, encore une fois. Then we're looking at what our main verb is. What is vouloir doing here? I want to open the bottles, right? Want is changing the nuance, but the most important verb for translation is opening the bottles. Opening, d'accord? So the same thing here. I'm going to look for my principal verb, which is not vouloir, but ouvrir. Couvrir, pardon. Alors, je l'ai, and then I'm using passé composé. Je les ai. Adverb. Oh. Oh, couvert, pardon. Oh, and I just answered it for you. Crazy. Couvert. Les meubles, c'est masculin. D'accord? Les meubles. Je les ai... Ben, moi, je les ai déjà couverts. Il n'y a pas de raison. C'est pas la peine, je les ai déjà fait. Je veux ouvrir toutes les fenêtres. Ben... ben, I'm gonna have you all speaking like true Frenchies. Ben, moi, je les ai déjà couverts. Ben, moi, je... You're not going to be able to answer this way on when you do the websam. Don't forget that. We can do this together, but it's not going to give you points if you do it this way. You do it the super French way, like we're doing it, they're not going to give you the points. They're going to think you've got weird stuff in there that doesn't belong. Alors, je... What are we talking about? Les fenêtres. Alors, qu'est-ce que vous allez mettre comme pronom complément d'objet direct? Les. Ouais. Et puis, verbe principal, ouvrir. D'accord? We know that all of these new IRs take avoir. Alors, je les ai. Adverb. Ouvert. Quoi d'autre? Toutes les fenêtres. So even if I don't remember that fenêtre is feminine, I have a big clue here. Ouverte. Voilà. D'accord? Je veux découvrir le centre-ville. So this one's a little different. This one, the rest of them are kind of like tasks that they need to do, right? And this one is something that they would each have to do for themselves, for herself anyway. So this one has always struck me as a little funny, because it's not like, oh, Sophie already did it, so now Maeva doesn't need to. It's just Sophie has already done it. So Sophie's, know-it-all or something, has already gotten it done. And now Maeva probably has to go do it by herself. Alors. Ben moi, moi, je. What's my direct object? Le centre-ville. Alors le. Pardon, je baille encore. And as I said, do this in steps if you need to. So what's going to happen with my conjugation of découvrir au passé composé? I have A coming up, right? Two vowels next to each other. Voilà. Je l'ai, adverb, déjà, découvert. D'accord? Je veux offrir des cadeaux aux voisins. D'accord? So you see how this works. This one's kind of boring now that it'd be better if they had you change the subject as well. Let's do that. Let's do that. We're going to pretend that there's a slightly different scenario now. So let's answer it with nous. Nous. qu'est-ce que vous avez ici? What is your direct object? Des cadeaux. You actually have an indirect object too, which we could replace also. Actually, to be more proper, we should go ahead and replace both of them. D'accord? So, what do you want to do? For des cadeaux, how many want to do les? That's a good tendency. And if you used that, your communication would still be good. So nothing would be lost communication-wise. But in order to be a little more specific, a little more exact, when I see de, what do I need? En. N'est-ce pas? And we're going to make a bunch of space here, because once you figure out what your pronouns are, then you're going to have to stop and think about what order you need, right? Au voisin. Or I know what. You know what? It'd be easier to go ahead and do the passé composé. Let's go ahead and do the passé composé. So we have nous, avons, d'accord? And what's my past participle? Offert. We'll worry about agreement in a minute, if we need to. I didn't remember putting an S up here. I wanted to double check that we had put an S. For some reason I didn't remember doing that. Alors, je veux offrir des cadeaux aux voisins. So we just said you're going to use en for des cadeaux. Every time you see des or de or any form of it, any form of de, you're going to use en, right? And what about aux voisins? Qu'est-ce que c'est que les voisins? Neighbors, n'est-ce pas? So these are people. I'm not going to be able to use e. I can only use e for things. D'accord? So indirect object pronoun, third person plural, leur, n'est-ce pas? And then you're going to stop and think, okay, what order do I really need these in? And e and en almost always go at the end. That is, they do always go at the end. So I'm going to move leur back to here. Nous leur en avons offert. Déjà, oh, déjà. On a oublié l'adverbe. So, l'adverbe, ça va dans la même place, dans la même position qu'avant. Voilà. Nous leur en avons déjà offert. Point. Okay? I never make agreement with en, no matter what it's replacing, even if I know what it's replacing is feminine or plural or whatever. Ça ne veut rien dire. On fait jamais, jamais, jamais d'accord avec en. D'accord? And of course we don't make any agreement with the indirects, right? Alors, je veux ouvrir les nouveaux CD. So let's change this one to il, pluriel. Alors, what's my direct object? Les. That is, les nouveaux CD. And, oh gosh, it's hard to speak Spanish. Entonces, les nouveaux CD. So my pronoun is les. Excuse me, goodness. Principal verb. Ouvrir, n'est-ce pas? Au passé composé. Avec il pluriel. Ils les ont, n'est-ce pas? Adverb. Adverbe ouvert. N'est-ce pas? Je veux couvrir les murs d'affiches. On va en faire encore un, hein, parce que je pense que l'utilité de cet exercice est quasiment épuisée. Alors, je veux couvrir les murs d'affiches. On a déjà fait le couvrir? I wish they'd do more of the FFRIRs. Those are fun. Okay. Je sais pas. Qui est-ce que... On va faire on, hein? On. Direct object. Les murs d'affiches. Pronoun. Les. Passé composé pour couvrir avec on. C'est pas? Oh. Adverbe. Ah, j'arrive pas à taper là. Oh. Voilà. Couvert. Avec S. D'accord? Alors ici, vous n'avez pas besoin, ou bien, ben, vous savez quoi? Vous pourriez mettre en pour l'affiche, d'accord? Alors, where would we put en if we're going to put en in here? On les en a déjà couverts. D'accord? It makes just as much sense with this particular one to not have the all. That's kind of wacky. But you can include the all. That's fine too. D'accord? Voilà. Très bien. On va sauter alors. Et on va regarder l'autre chose qu'on avait à faire aujourd'hui, c'est le conditionnel. Et il est bien temps, parce qu'on a passé une demi-heure. So, lots of you I know have had French before you started our French stuff with E major. So you may have already seen this tense, d'accord? Actually, it's a mode. You don't have to worry about that. You can think of it as a tense if you want to. But conditional, we use it all the time in English. All the time. So it's very, very similar to how we use it in English, and the use of it tends to fit right into our brains without too much trouble. So my advice about conditional is to not think about it too much. My advice is to learn the endings and then just jump right in and start. Oh, Suzanne. Start using them in sentences. Okay? And your head really is going to grab these pretty quickly, as long as you know the endings. So get so that you're fairly comfortable with the endings, and then just start jumping in and doing some. And what I think we're gonna go practice some on text actually on here today, because I'm just kind of tired of WebSend personally. So that gives us, ça change les idées, hein, de regarder quelque chose de différent. Alors. The cool thing about conditional, and then we're going to look at the PowerPoint for this, unlike what we did for the other thing. Je vais supprimer ça. It's basically, if you ever did future simple, which we're going to do later this semester, it's your future simple endings plus your, or rather, roots plus your imparfait endings. So imparfait endings. And just like imparfait, these endings are never going to change. D'accord? So that's really cool. You already know the endings, basically. But you're going to have slightly different root system than, than you did with imparfait or whatever. And I always forget that this won't let me just scroll up with my fingertips. I always want to scroll up with my little fingertips. No. Voilà. Alors, pour les ER, for ERs, you're going to keep the whole infinitive. IRs, keep the whole infinitive. REs, drop the E, add your endings. D'accord? If it's a stem changer, you take the change. Let me say that again. If it's a stem changer, you go ahead and make the change that would happen, and it stays that way all the way through. Okay, so j'achète, this only changes for the boot, right, to your E accent grave. But for conditional, I'm going to change it for the entire thing. J'achèterais, tu achèterais, ils achèteraient, etc. So everything, d'accord? And I was going to talk about that why I thing again, but I'm not going to. Just do the best you can with it, bearing in mind that the Y is not necessarily accepted everywhere in France. I don't know anybody who uses the Y, even though this book tells you that you can. Okay, I had to go ahead and say it. I'm sorry. I had to go ahead and say it. I had to. Alors, voilà. Most, and I mean, most spelling change verbs do that. There are a couple that don't. D'accord? Considérerait, répéterait. D'accord? Là, ils vont pas changer. So that one will not change. Okay? If it already has an E accent aigu is what they're talking about. If it's an E accent aigu that changes to an E accent grave, it doesn't change. This is very weird. I'll admit it. It's very weird. Every other change, you go for it. Okay? All the way through. Now, are those going to block comprehension when you're speaking to someone? No. But we will grade that, and WebSam will grade that, and all that kind of thing. So you do need to try to pay attention to it, because we're going to aim for knowing it. But if you go to France this summer or something and try to talk to somebody, don't worry about those, because it's going to sound right regardless. Okay? That's another case of the spelling needing to catch up with what the pronunciation was doing. So they artificially changed the spelling to match the pronunciation after the fact, basically. So it's kind of artificial anyway. Eh ben, ceci dit, I have spoken. That's the last thing I'm going to say about that. Le conditionnel, point de départ. Conditional talks about what you would do or what would happen under certain circumstances. So we're talking about hypotheticals, basically, right? If I won the lottery, I would buy a farm. If it rained tomorrow, I would wear my raincoat, d'accord, etc. So that's what I mean about it working pretty much exactly the same way we do, d'accord? So we can use it in cases like that where I set a condition, and that's why we call it conditional. It sets a condition and then answers what would happen if that condition came true, right? We can also use it, just like we do in English, when we're trying to make something sound more polite. Okay, so when you go to a restaurant or something, you say, I want such and such, right? You say, I would like da 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 da. Likewise, if you're asking somebody to do something, don't normally say, do this, or can you, you might say, can you do this, but if we're being really, really polite, we say, could you please do this for me, right? And we use conditional to make that softer, more polite. The same thing in English. D'accord? Alors, here, sans réservation, they're setting up a condition. Without a reservation, we would never be able to eat before midnight. D'accord? All the restaurants are too crowded or whatever, right? So we're answering a condition by using our conditional. We would not eat before midnight. Here, we're asking somebody information, probably somebody we don't know. We know that these guys know each other because we know the video, but pretend they don't. And that's how I would ask, in order to be nice. Il aurait-il une autre station-service près d'ici? Same thing if you're asking somebody the time. D'accord? Auriez-vous l'heure? Etc. D'accord? Alors, on va continuer. Vous avez le conditionnel, les formes, je veux dire la formation du conditionnel des verbes réguliers. So we talked about this already. ERs, IRs, keep the root. REs, drop your E. Rien de plus simple. Note that we already talked about this. This is basically reiterating what we already said. Keep your IRs and ERs, drop your E, right? Voila. Then we looked at the spelling changes there in the book. One more time. Most of your stem changers is what we used to always call them, so I'm always stumbling over what to call them. Stem changers or spelling change verbs. Most of them, if you're in doubt, go ahead and make the change and keep the change all the way through, and you're probably going to be right. The place where you're not going to be right is if it's a verb that has an E accent aigu and you're changing it to an E accent grave. D'accord? So in those cases, you don't make the change. You keep the same form that you have in the infinitive. D'accord? This is another one of those things, I should say, too, where if you asked 10 or 15 French people on the street to spell these conditionals, the stem changer conditionals, I guarantee you would run across more than a couple who didn't know that. Or maybe knew it, but don't do it regularly. There are, I believe anyway, there are less people in France who spell badly than there are here, but that's probably just because I think French rocks, and I don't want to admit that there are less typos on signs and stuff. I'm really impressed every time I go. You just hardly ever see anything in print spelled incorrectly, and here we see it all the time. But this kind of thing is something that people are going to make mistakes on in everyday usage, and a lot of them are going to be surprised to remember, oh right, I seem to recall that. Now, the stickiest part of conditionnel is that you have a fair amount of irregular stems to learn. D'accord? The cool thing is, if you learn these stems now, when we do futur simple in a little bit, you will already have the roots ready for futur simple, because futur simple looks a lot like conditional. Okay, use the same exact formation root-wise that you do for conditional. D'accord? Alors, il y a 2 ou 3 trucs de prononciation que j'allais souligner ici. Most of these are going to be pretty basic, but what I wanted to underline were, look at envoyer, être et faire. D'accord? Alors, envoyer, on va... N'est-ce pas? Oh, qu'est-ce que j'ai fait? Voilà. Ouais. Et puis, d'accord. For these, and this is just kind of an aside, with this one, you're really going to sit on the E. D'accord? And if you remember, pretty much any time we have a double consonant after an E, par exemple, j'appelle, ouais, je sais pas, que je mette, this is subjunctive, which you guys haven't necessarily seen yet, but it's okay. You still get a good example. I'm going to sit on those E's, met, appelle, etc., right? When I don't have a double consonant coming up, basically what happens is this is going to act just like a one-syllable word with an e muet would act. So it's going to be the same. See how this is the same formation now as je, okay? And that's because I'm going to cut my syllable here. Since I'm cutting my syllable there, I can't sit on my E the way I can up here. Met, appelle, envers. So here, for example, we would say tu enverrais, d'accord? And I'm really sitting on that, right? Envers, and the double consonant makes me sit on it. Here, I'm going to say je serai, je serai. D'accord? Même chose ici. On va mettre avec je quand même encore une fois. Alors, par exemple, oh, on va mettre encore au négatif, ce serait encore plus intéressant. Je ne serai pas, ou ferai pas. No, 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 no. D'accord? So here we've got 3 in a row, and the same thing is going to happen with fe that happened with se. Okay? Because in effect, since I'm cutting my syllable here, I've got 3 e muets in a row. Je ne ferai pas. D'accord? And there's something even more fun, if you don't mind one more little tiny digression, is that if French people have a bunch of e muets in a row, basically we pronounce every other one. We. I didn't mean we like French people, I meant we as French speakers. D'accord? So here you would hear the je, you would not necessarily hear the ne, you would hear the n, and then you would hear the fe. Je ne ferai, je ne ferai, je ne ferai. Okay? So you're hearing the je, you're just hearing an n here, you're hearing this, right? So let's do one more. This is really fun. You guys never think stuff is fun when I think it's fun, but oh well. I have a captive audience. Or you can just fast forward through this. So same thing here. Said every other one's going to be heard. Je ne le ferai pas. Je ne le ferai pas. D'accord? It's hard to slow it down, but I swear it works. Je ne le ferai pas. D'accord? Je ne le ferai. Ok? C'est super intéressant, non? Moi, je pense. Bon ben. On va passer. Alors, so that's the only thing pronunciation-wise. All the rest of these are going to be basic. You're used to most of these combinations of letters, etc. Viendrai, comme vient, d'accord? The AUs are going to be O, like AU is in other uses. Au début, etc. N'est-ce pas? Voilà. The verbs devenir, maintenir, retenir, pardon. Maintenir, retenir, revenir, tenir are patterned after venir. Okay, so the same formation of your root, with the exception of whatever the first syllable is doing, right? Okay. Et puis, you're going to use the conditional, as we said a minute ago, to make a polite request, to soften a demand, or express what someone could or should do. Je voudrais acheter une imprimante, right? Instead of j'achète, je veux. D'accord. Je voudrais acheter une imprimante, s'il vous plaît, instead of je veux une imprimante. Let's see how much nicer it sounds. I'm the weirdest mood tonight. Okay. Pourriez-vous nous dire où il est? Could you tell us where he is? D'accord. To express what someone at a past time thought would happen in the future, you're going to use a past tense verb, d'accord, and then the conditional. And we do this exact same thing. Okay. I knew Mom wouldn't let you go. Right? I knew nobody would buy your car. I don't know why they're all negative. Here come my little reminders again in a second. Il savait que Lucie ne reviendrait pas. Je pensais que tu ferais tes devoirs, etc. What? This is a good idea, actually. All of these impersonal il expressions, by which we mean an expression that has il in it, and the il is not representing a person. So the places where we have il and it kind of means it, right? Il y a, il faut, il pleut. It's a good idea to take all three of these, but especially il y a and il faut. And every time we learn a new tense, stop and make yourself look at what that is going to do to il y a. So, passé composé, il y a eu, il a fallu, imparfait, il y avait, il fallait, par exemple. Et puis pour le conditionnel, bien sûr, il y aurait, il faudrait, il pleuvrait. D'accord? And that way you'll just be able to plug them in. And those are the only forms you need to learn anyway, so you're all set. Et ben, voilà. Snooze, 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 snooze. Voilà. On va aller chez Tex pour pratiquer tout cela. Attendez 2 secondes, j'ai pas encore. Je l'ai pas encore branché. Alors, on va aller chez dans l'index, hein, parce que dans le table matière, je veux dire. Conditionnel. Now the next thing we do with conditional is learn how to use them when we put conditions down in the same sentence. And we do that a lot in English too. We're not going to play with that quite yet. Here they're going over your formation again. And again, if they have some verbs here that we haven't looked at, don't let them stress you out. You can either take them, and yay, you know a couple extra verbs, or you can leave them alone until we see them or you see them in a future class. D'accord? Well, here they're going over that stem changer stuff again, right? See, they don't think the Y is proper either. Tex agrees with me. Alors, so in this case, all we're doing is changing to conditional. You don't have to decide when to use it or whether or not to use it, etc. Vous allez simplement l'utiliser. Ok? Alors, Tex, je voudrais un café, s'il vous plaît. Alors, dans chaque cas, ce qu'on va faire aussi, c'est de... That's really funny. My dash lane thinks that I'm supposed to be filling this out for some kind of a form, auto form or something. Pour chacun, on va essayer de décider pourquoi le conditionnel conviendrait ici. Okay? So in each case, we're going to stop and, if possible, think about why conditional is good in this sentence. Because almost all of these you could just do in present tense, right? But we're going to stop and really think about why is conditional a good idea here. Alors, je voudrais un café, s'il vous plaît. C'est pour la politesse. Okay? So we'll have some little choices of reasons as we go through. Voilà. Alors, ce que vous avez, c'est, par exemple, soit la politesse. Oui. So that's the reason for the first one. Numéro 2. Edouard et moi, nous... Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move... Oh, I can't. Ok, bon bah. Et en fait, c'est assez grand comme ça dans la vidéo, je pense pas, hein, peut-être. On va mettre... Oh, oh. Was that how big it was? Oh. Bon bah, on va le laisser comme ça. Hein. Voilà. Pour numéro 2, Edouard et moi, nous aurions bien envie d'une petite liqueur, un petit apéro. Aurions, même chose, politesse. Dans ce cas aussi, ça pourrait être ironique en fait, un tout petit peu, mais voilà. Si ça ne te fait rien, qu'est-ce que vous allez me donner? Préférerais aller au concert. And remember our accent gras, accent aigu that normally would change to grave stays aigu for the conditional. And I know that's the wackiest thing in the whole world. Oh, now everybody knows my birthday. Oh my gosh. D'accord. No, I don't need to autofill. I don't know why you only want to autofill that one blank anyway. That's really weird. Tex, c'est l'anniversaire de Fiona. Tu... Oh, on n'a pas besoin de ça, n'est-ce pas? Devrait... D'accord? Pourquoi? Alors, c'est quasiment la politesse aussi, parce que quand même, en fait, c'est une situation d'impératif, n'est-ce pas? Mais c'est un peu plus poli, et c'est un peu plus gentil, un peu plus... Bon, bah oui, gentil, quoi. D'accord? Ce qui est un tout petit peu différent, un peu différent de la politesse. Hein. Tammy, il faudrait vraiment que Tex travaille. D'accord? So in this case, I wouldn't say that it is politeness or being nice. I would say that it's kind of, she's kind of mincing words a little bit, right? She's kind of, for some reason, she doesn't want to just come out and say, il faut vraiment, d'accord? Il faudrait vraiment. So she's kind of hedging a little. So that could be another reason. You could chalk it up to politesse. And you could actually chalk it up to some other context happening where somebody has already set a condition. So, you know, oh, for him to pass this class, il faudrait vraiment qu'il travaille. Non, 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 non. Bête, on aimerait beaucoup rencontrer Tex. Politesse, encore une fois, n'est-ce pas? Jobob. Oh, pardon. Oh non, 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 non. Pourriez-vous me prêter de l'argent? Politesse pure. 8. Tex. Je sais pas, je comprends pas celui-là en fait. Je vois pas de contexte pour ça, mais voilà. Alors, j'apprécierais... Oh, pardon. Voilà. Beaucoup des excuses. I would very much appreciate some apologies. I guess that does make sense, but it just seems funny without a context. Edouard, vous seriez aimable de fermer la porte. This is really, sometimes sometimes conditional is used kind of passive aggressively. So here, he could be totally serious and he could just be being really, really nice. Really, really nice. So this is crazy nice. Normally you just say, s'il vous plaît, est-ce que vous pourriez fermer la porte ou quelque chose comme ça. But here he's really going overboard. Vous seriez aimable de fermer la porte. You would be very nice if you closed the door. And it could be something kind of, you know, where he's being kind of ironic. So. Alors, Trey, Tex, tu devrais faire plus de sport. Suggestion, n'est-ce pas? Politesse, peut-être, gentillesse aussi. Vous auriez intérêt à faire attention. Tammy et Beth aimeraient vivre en France. D'accord? Alors ici, c'est pas la politesse, n'est-ce pas? C'est pas la gentillesse ni rien, mais c'est hypothétique, c'est une réponse à une hypothèse quand même. D'accord? So hypothetically. And since it's not necessarily possible, maybe they're saying aimerait because they're kind of dreaming about it, right? It may happen, it may not happen, that kind of thing. So, voilà. Ça vous donne quand même beaucoup de bons exemples pour l'usage du conditionnel, n'est-ce pas? Et voilà. On va voir. Je pense que c'est à peu près tout. Je voulais vérifier. Il y avait un exercice que... Il y avait un exemple... attendez. Ça, c'est à peu près la même chose qu'on vient de faire. I remember now why I wanted to go to text. I'm just kind of tired of these sentence fragment ones. The sentence fragment ones are kind of cool, though, because they make you think about whether you guys need articles or not, and they go ahead and give you the prepositions, but the vast majority of the time when you get to these and you have a noun, you're going to need an article, right? So those are really good for that. Ouais, ben on va faire quelques-uns, peut-être, de celui-là, juste pour voir. Voilà, les professeurs. Que feraient ces personnes si elles étaient profs de français? So here's the classique modèle classique du conditionnel. Si quelque chose plus conditionnel. If such and such happened, what else would happen? If such and such happened, this would happen too, etc. D'accord? Exactly like we say in English. If Mike called me, I would talk to him, right? If the cat was hungry, I would feed her, etc. D'accord? So we're going to look at that a little more closely later, using it with the past tense, with imparfait here. But in these particular ones, we're setting up this, this is the condition that we're using for everything. If these people were French profs, what would they do? Mark would give homework, right? You would give really hard tests, etc. D'accord? And all the same principle. What would you, vous, nous, etc. do if you were a French prof? Alors Marc donnerait des devoirs. So don't forget your articles. Vous, I'm going to go pretty good clip here, so pause it if you need to quiz yourself each time before I put the answer down. Vous répondriez qu'est-ce que vous dites? You're going to need an article. So if you want to, do it in steps, like we said before. A, what article do you want? Les, peut-être. You could use des for that matter, and that would be fine too. But what we do if we have a and les, it becomes aux questions. And then I need another article for les étudiants. Les étudiants, ce que je viens de vous donner, mais c'est pas grave. Les étudiants. And what do I need in here for this to make sense? Sometimes they're, I should say, sometimes they're giving you the preposition and sometimes they're not. So how do I show that the questions are the students' questions? What's my way of showing possession here? With de, n'est-ce pas? And then what I do with de plus les, des. D'accord? Vous répondriez aux questions des étudiants. Now you could say à des questions. There's not much difference. À des questions would imply that you're not going to answer all of them. But voilà. Nous permettrions, article for students, plus a, so we end up with a, les, which gives us what again? Aux aux étudiants de same thing as threat. Everything else stays the same. De manger en classe. Now I said virtually every time you see a noun you're going to need an article, but in this case en classe is a set expression, a set location, en classe, n'est-ce pas? So you don't need to put an article in there. Tu parles français? How many people wanted to put an article for français? In fact, this one is a funny one. You could put an article in this one or not. There's a very strange thing that happens with articles with, in fact, my head really wants there to be an article there. If you're just answering the question, like what does somebody speak? Elle parle français, il parle russe, nous parlons chinois, ou je sais pas quoi. You don't use an article. So if the information that you're passing on is what language you're speaking, then you don't use an article. But if you have a modifier, you're saying somebody not just that somebody speaks English, but they speak English really well, or really crappy, or really slowly, or really whatever, then you put an article. Okay? Alors, pour vous donner un exemple, par exemple, Sophie parle français, n'est-ce pas? Pete l'étudie. Oh, ça a l'air de dire qu'il étudie Sophie, mais voilà. Étudie le français, par exemple. And in this case, anyway, if we're using it with anything besides parler, you're going to use an article with it. Et il le parle, ou bien, pardon, il parle français, le français. Oh, Suzanne! I really need to go on my iPhone and... I put them on too early. It says they're all due yesterday. That was really just the day I wanted to make sure I didn't forget to think about them because they're really not due till next week. So, just in case anybody thinks I'm delinquent on a bunch of my household bills, I am not. Alors, il parle le français couramment, par exemple. D'accord? Il parle le français couramment. Okay? So, my head really wants there to be a le here. Tout le temps, in effect, is modifying how often you speak French, right? Tu parlerais le français tout le temps. D'accord? But it's funny because it sounds right without it also in that case. I know. Alors, that's an interesting one. You might have to ask Véronique about that one. What would she have ce qu'elle aurait tendance à dire? Alors, voilà. C'est intéressant, non? Moi, je trouve. Tes parents boire. Article. How many people want to put le? Vous n'avez pas put le. Vous n'avez pas. Speaking franglais. Vous n'allez pas mettre le, hein? Qu'est-ce que vous allez mettre? What should be your first instinct, either with food and stuff or with a verb like this? Particle. I mean partitive, right? So particle. Partitive. Boirais du café. And then this time they didn't give it to you. En classe. I wish they would be consistent about that. Mais voilà. Tes parents boiraient du café en classe. Okay. Somebody was asking about the partitive articles the other day. So I did a little tiny review in 102, and I just wanted to show you. Actually, we're doing a new thingy. Et voila. Got a lot of stickies going today. Crazy. Basically, you're on the right track if you're using partitive with things that you can consume or buy or partake of. It doesn't have to be food stuff. It could be something somebody's offering you and you say, oh, I'm going to have some of that paper, or je vais prendre du papier pour je sais pas quoi, la la la. So a lot of the time you can tell by the noun, and the noun gives you an idea of the context and everything. Now with verbs of preference, you all should know I'm just going to use definite articles, right? I'm never going to use the partitive. But if I have a verb that has to do with consuming of some kind, that's really kind of the key. And there's some verbs that don't necessarily fall into that exact description, but do fit with this idea more or less, for us, as for English speakers anyway. So I'm talking about, anything that talks about consuming. So manger, boire, acheter, partager, prendre, préparer même. Ça dépendrait de la situation. Par exemple, je préparerais des haricots pour nanana. Ou si c'est plus spécifique, vous avez une raison spécifique dans la situation pour préciser, vous pourrez quand même dire je préparerai les haricots. Alors voilà. Et puis voilà. There are a lot of other verbs that have to do with that. And as you learn more verbs, anything that is talking about some kind of consumption, you're going to be using the partitive more often than not with that verb. D'accord. And other cases, you're going to pretty much know whether to use the article, the definite or not, because of the situation, right? Mais voilà. Alors, c'est très bien. On va laisser tomber cet exercice du moins, ok? Et je pense que c'est tout pour ce soir. J'ai essayé de trouver une vidéo musique pour... je sais qu'il y en avait une que j'utilisais dans le temps et j'arrivais pas à le trouver. Alors peut-être pour la prochaine fois, ou si je la trouve, je la mettrai quand même sur le module. Et puis comme ça, vous pourriez par exemple, vous pourriez quand même la regarder. Ok, voilà. Je vais continuer à corriger ce soir. Je tente tout finir ce soir. On va voir. Mais si je finis pas tout, je vais finir quasiment tout. Ok? Alors, bonne soirée. Merci d'avoir assisté. Nanana. Et amusez-vous bien. Posez-moi des questions quelconques par email. Et voilà. Très bien. Je vais tout éteindre une fois que je trouve les endroits où tout éteindre. Voilà. Stop. 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 Stop.
Recording stopped.
Oh. Stop.